Economics is not the only impact cryptids have had on West Virginia. In rural communities like this one, locals have embraced these creatures as one of their own. Millions of Americans were impacted by delayed SNAP benefits this fall. I'm Regan Duceman, and coming up on West Virginia Today, I'll show you efforts to fight food insecurity in the Mountain State. 1 in 6 West Virginians are considered to be food insecure. Here in Morgantown, families are lining up at food pantries and distribution centers like this one. Here, they could get essential food supplies, such as spices, spaghetti, and cereals. In West Virginia, some small towns are using these tales to create festivals and landmarks that attract tourists and ultimately improve the local economy. West Virginia students are adjusting to a new statewide rule. I'm Regan Duceman, and I'll tell you how classrooms are going back to the basics without their phones. West Virginia Today starts now. 1 in 6 West Virginians are food insecure, and more than 16% of West Virginians live below the poverty line. So a delay in federal food assistance only made problems for food access worse in many parts of West Virginia. Cryptids are leaving their mark across the Mountain State. I'm Regan Duceman, and coming up on West Virginia Today, I'll tell you how these communities are embracing these local legends.
Bask in the wisdom of the Mothman.
Every fall, the small town of Point Pleasant transforms into a hotspot for the strange and supernatural. The Mothman Festival draws in cryptid lovers from across the country, all united by mystery and myth.
Things like this make people feel more comfortable to express who they are. And that's one of the great things about this festival in general, is that you can just be yourself.
The Mothman is a 6 to 7 foot tall, large-winged creature with red eyes that West Virginians first reported seeing in the 1960s. It's known as an omen of bad things to come. The first Mothman Festival took place in 2002 and has become a staple for Point Pleasant, drawing in more than 10,000 tourists and generating more than $2 million in economic impact.
Everyone that is walking around right now, they're buying food, they're buying gasoline, they're staying at the hotels, they're going out to dinner at night. Some of these people that are here are not here just one day, they're here for the whole weekend. And when they're not spending money at the event, they're spending money at all the local businesses. So it's really good for the community.
Economics is not the only impact cryptids have had on West Virginia. In rural communities like this one, locals have embraced these creatures as one of their own.
A little over 100 miles away in Braxton County, West Virginia, the Flatwoods monster lurks in the shadows and on the hearts of locals. This green and red extraterrestrial was first reported falling from the sky and landing on a local farm. The legends of Mothman and the Flatwoods monster aren't just spooky stories. They are a part of West Virginia's identity.
It's already what's happening in the state, and it's already part of the history of the state. And it's so much better to embrace what's already here, like cryptids and hot dogs and pepperoni rolls, instead of reinventing the wheel and kind of pretending that we're something that we're not.
According to folklorists like Warren, these legends have staying power because of how deeply they're rooted in small communities.
Because the communities here can be so close-knit and so strong, I think the stories that people tell get passed down and they get preserved. So all it takes is one person to come in and say, we'd like to collect the spooky stories that your grandma told you.
From economic boosts to preserving oral history, cryptids are helping keep Mountain State culture alive, one legend at a time.
So important that when our government isn't stepping up, that we are.
November SNAP benefits were delayed for nearly 300,000 West Virginians, putting a larger burden on community programs and food pantries to keep kids fed.
This is the pathway out of poverty. Kids can't learn if they're hungry. Kids can't play if they're hungry. They can't focus on being kids and learn in school, succeed, if they're focused on where their next meal is coming from.
Woolwine works for Pantry Plus More in Westover, a nonprofit that feeds around 150 families each month. Woolwine says at the start of November, that number increased to nearly 250.
We're seeing more emergency requests through the week because we have families now who aren't receiving paychecks, who've never needed help before. And you think about that, you have kids at home and all of a sudden you have no income. You are going to need help.
Governor Patrick Morrisey committed $13 million in state aid to help programs like Pantry Plus More until the government reopened.
4 families, please! 4 families!
But West Virginia's food insecurity is not an isolated problem.
1 in 6 West Virginians are considered to be food insecure. Here in Morgantown, families are lining up at food pantries and distribution centers like this one. Here, they could get essential food supplies, such as spices, spaghetti, and cereals.
Senior Policy Outreach Director for the West Virginia Center for Budget and Policy, Seth DeStefano, says that Trump's Big Beautiful Bill, which passed this last July, could be adding even more barriers to food assistance.
So we estimate that over 30,000 West Virginians are going to see either significant reductions or just outright get kicked off, not because they don't qualify for federal food assistance, but because they simply can't keep up with the red tape.
More than 16% of West Virginians live below the poverty line. Public health specialist Kristen McCartney says that increasing grocery prices is also making the problem worse.
The key is, wouldn't it be nice if people just had enough money? Because I feel like there is enough food. It's just the ways in which we have to procure it is kind of, based on a system that needs a little more support.
Pantry Plus More provided more than 350,000 pounds of food to families in Mon County since 2016. And Woolwine says it's because of the community's help.
Our community support is just through the roof. People, as you see, there are tons of people out here giving up their Saturday morning to help us. They make donations. We're not a government-funded organization, so we rely 100% on grants and the generosity of our community.
This is Regan Duceman reporting live from Dorsey Avenue here in Morgantown. Dorsey Avenue is the location of a community donation box that you see here behind me. Here, community members are able to drop off food and supplies for those in need. Then, those struggling during this time are able to pick up those supplies anonymously. Here, I'll take you on an inside look of what's in one of these drop boxes. In this one, we currently have things such as mac and cheese, beans, vegetables, stuffing for Thanksgiving. We have supplies such as female sanitary things. We have oatmeal and some prepaid food. Earlier this month, I spoke to public health expert Kristen McCartney, who explained to me that there is a growing issue in West Virginians not being able to afford food. We saw that as nearly 300,000 West Virginians had delayed SNAP benefits this month. One local nonprofit, Pantry Plus More here in Morgantown, saw a nearly 60% increase in need in the community. I'll have more on this story on our upcoming newscast. But for now, this has been Regan Duceman reporting live for West Virginia Today.